The Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship comes to Pukekohe, south of Auckland for round 5. And it's a celebration in memory of Possum Bourne. 10 years on from his death, the Possum Bourne Memorial Rally will take competitors to the Manamarua Forest for a challenging 7 stages on gravel before turning to asphalt in the afternoon and finishing back at Pukekohe. Hayden Paddon returns after his WRC campaign and, despite missing 2 rounds, is still the lead contender. Ben Hunt has been a consistent top 3 finisher. He has the top points, but will need to step up now. Richard Mason has been plagued with small problems, but a win here would put his championship back on track. And Chris West comes to the rally fresh from a win at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint and primed to take on Mason, Hunt and Paddon. 7 stages on gravel, 4 stages on tarmac. Rally New Zealand, in association with Vantage Aluminium Joinery, presents the Possum Bourne Memorial Rally. In 2013, Possum Bourne's statue was moved from the lonely vigil atop the Cardrona Mountain Road to be placed in the centre of Pukekohe Township, where Possum had lived and worked. The rally would start here, but first on the Friday night, friends, family and colleagues of Possum gathered together at Pukekohe Raceway to celebrate and remember, including his son Taylor, who was competing in his first rally in a car prepared by Possum Bourne Motorsport. It was also a chance for the top 5 drivers from the Canterbury Rally Power Stage to choose their start orders. First up, Chris West, who chose second.
I mean, looking at the rows this morning in recce, if you had the ultimate choice, you'd probably run a wee bit further back. But I mean, it's soft where the new bitumen is, and I think it matters whether you run 1 or 100 there. It is what it is, but I think you need to take some sort of advantage of the harder base surface. And I mean, like I said, it's a championship we've got to think about, and we're playing it pretty safe at 2.
All eyes then on Ben Hunt, who bravely put his name at the top of the table.
I think being further up the field may play into advantage in the afternoon, and obviously on the tarmac stages there's a few places where you can pull some stuff out, so I don't want to be further back in the field and be affected by that. So yeah, I don't mind leading, and at the last 2 rallies we've ended up one on the road after a few stages anyway, so I quite like making my own line and just doing my own thing.
That left Brian Green 3rd, Richard Baddock 4th and Hayden Paddon to start 5th. So the cars gathered in the main street of Pukekohe under the watchful eyes of Possum. Richard Mason would start 6th.
We have had good pace in the last couple of rallies. Hayden hasn't been here, which is a pity, but okay, he's here now, and we're going to find out whether he can put that WRC experience in the last few weeks to an advantage, or whether or not we can take it to him.
No one has had as much seat time in a rally car this year as Hayden Paddon, and he was ready to bring it on.
We're still on the hunt, which is quite surprising after missing the last couple of rallies, so we just need to try and get a good result today and ease our way back into the car. It's a bit different to the Skoda, and if everything's feeling good, then we obviously want to be pushing for the win.
After his great run at Canterbury, Richard Baddock looking forward to challenging the established competitors.
The forestry roads are similar to Canterbury, so I mean it's relatively familiar with us. We've got some good tyres this time, which is something new, and I'm feeling really confident for that reason. And I do like a bit of tarmac, so it should be a good day for us.
In a tribute to Possum, the first car on the road would be Possum's World Rally car, driven by Cody Crocker.
This is a pretty special day. It's been a long time, and I've wanted to drive a World Rally car for a very, very long time, and I drove Possum's World Rally car in about 2001 for a very short half test day here in Maramarua, so today's pretty cool. It's a good way to honour Possum as well.
Time to head to the forest and the first of our BNT stage previews.
Hi, I'm Richard Mason and welcome to the 2013 Possum Bourne Memorial Rally BNT Stage Preview. Stage 1, 4 and 6 is West Loop. There's been a lot of work done in here over the last year or so with gravel, and it's still quite soft, so after 2 or maybe into the 3rd run, it's going to get really sort of dug up and hard to drive through. A real test.
Ben Hunt first on the road, and that may be an advantage here. Much of this stage has been loose gravel, but it may become rutted as the cars go across the stage. Ben was eager to pave the way, though it was just the tyre tracks of Cody Crocker in the Zero car ahead of him.
Well, Ben's leading the championship. He's going first car on the road. He wants to lay down some good stage times. He's done a stunning job all year. Really, he's been the find of the year. And I guess he wants to get to the end of the stage, check the times, try and keep leading the rally.
No stage records here, as it's many years since these roads were used in the WRC, so Ben Hunt will post the first time and set the record. And there it is, 11 minutes 33.3. Chris West had won the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint just 2 weeks before this rally. It had been in atrocious conditions though, but he had prevailed and was looking forward to carrying some new pace into the championship.
I called into the Team Rally Out workshop on Friday. They were racing the ride height as they're a little bit worried with the ruts later in the rally is going to affect the car and it'll start bottoming me out. It's yet to see whether that's going to affect the car in the smoother parts because you are altering the ride height and they haven't had a chance to test it or confirm the changes will work.
All right, so let's see what time West can post. Well, it's a bit slow, 11 minutes 56.2, so the setup not quite suiting these roads. Brian Green running third on the road, so a chance to take advantage of great road conditions here, Glenn.
This is Brian's first time on a new tyre manufacturer, so he's going to take a little bit of time or some kilometres just to settle in and see how the tyres work.
And it's a slow time for Green, 12 minutes 49.7. So Richard Baddock looking forward to more improvement in his pace. He even saw some good tyres in an effort to improve, but it was a puncture on stage one would mean that he then started with a 6-minute deficit. It's been nearly 4 months since Hayden Paddon competed in his Evo 9. Meantime, he's been driving Skoda S2000 WRC 2 cars in Europe, so there's sure to be some differences in the cars.
Well, the Team Green Evo 9 in New Zealand is completely different to the Skodas they run overseas. The Skoda is a full race car. It's suspension travel. Right from its conception, it was built to go fast over gravel roads. This car is based on a production car. It still goes very well on gravel roads because of the setup, the suspension, the shock absorbers, but it wasn't made as a race car from the start.
Well, as we come down here, there's Richard Baddock on the roadside changing the puncture. Just a reminder of how quickly problems can cost time in a rally.
Down this fast bit of road, the Skoda he'd be in would be on the limiter, but he's flat out in the mid-sea. He's got some real pace.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a big jump. 120. This bit of road. Sounds like he's got something scraping.
Oh, just along the really fast section there, we went over a jump flat and the car landed very awkwardly on the upslope and it's smashed the rear guard up against the rear tyres, so we just need to try and get the rear guard fixed up.
Well, Hayden still 4.3 seconds faster than Ben Hunt through the stage. Maybe fortunate that incident happened at the stage end, and Richard Mason next through, and no doubt thinking about how his pace will compare to Paddon's.
This is the battle we all want to see. Richard's been getting his car fine-tuned. He's been at home getting the car right. Hayden's been overseas. But these guys, they're the superstars of the sport in this country. And to see Richard's times at the end of this stage, that's going to be important to set the tone for the rally.
Okay, so coming down to the finish, and it looks like he's going to score the top time, 11 minutes 20.9.
Gearbox there at noise there in third, isn't there?
Sounds like a small problem there for Mason.
Sloane Cox returns to the championship, and he's had recent experience in the forest, competing in a club rally earlier in the year.
Marmara used to be quite a specialist rally. We used to have a lot of club events in there, so that the top competitors would do a lot of testing and get many stage miles. Of the competitors we have doing this rally today, Sloane's probably got the most experience of recent rallies.
Sloane's time, 11 minutes 49.7. That's fourth fastest. Now this is a man with a bucket full of experience in the forest, Dave Strong, and possibly with a car that will handle these stages well.
We've talked about Hayden Paddon's Skoda. This was a car that was built along those same lines, full-on race car. You see the gearbox, the noise the car's making. It's going to handle the ruts. And of the competitors here, I think Dave's done more miles than everybody else put together in this forest. I was talking to Dave before the rally. He says, what ruts? This car is so good.
And the time, 11 minutes 57.4, so sixth, just 1.2 seconds behind West. Coming up on Rally Nation, the top three drivers all strike trouble. It's the race for service.
head to the other side of the forest. Stage 2 and 5 is Ridge Road. Starting at forest headquarters, this is a lot faster road, and when it sweeps up after a couple of runs, there is a heap of grip, and it is really quite exciting.
The eastern side of the forest is drier and more open, so different road conditions again. Ben Hunt won't be worried by dust, but those following may be.
When it's dry, dust can always be a problem when rallying. The NZRC runs 1 minute intervals, so if there's no wind to blow the dust free, it can hang around for the following competitors.
Okay, we'll see Hunt's time, 6 minutes 50.9. Chris West having handling issues on stage 1 and not a lot he can do before service.
There's not enough time to do many changes, and I guess he's still getting used to it to see if it's going to be a good or bad choice.
Well, West slower again over that stage, losing another 17 seconds to Hunt. Green in trouble too, losing 30 seconds. Richard Baddock fighting back, 7 minutes 19 on this stage, but a lot of ground to make up after that puncture. Hayden Patton's car had been damaged by that jump before, and he had to back off through the stage to keep going to service.
It does look like it's sitting down at the back, and the back of the car took most of the hit on the landing. They're just going to have to get through, minimise the damage, and make sure they keep in the rally, because it is about points.
And with the possible damaged gearbox, Richard Mason is also going to have to be careful.
Well, that's a unique start to a stage. They're straight into a left-hand hairpin. It actually just looks like he's turned a bit too far. Richard's not running his #1 gearbox in the rally this morning. In the first stage, they're a little bit concerned about it, so we're just going to have to see how he gets through this stage, and if he's on the pace.
16. Not third.
Long, 5 left, minus.
I think he just said he's lost third. That could be a big concern.
Short 6.
Well, Richard's pushing hard and just starting to catch up in some of Hayden Patton's dust, so he's obviously making up good time.
Straight over crest and 5 left.
Across the line, 6 minutes 43.4.
Oh, just the power steering's bloody giving us trouble as well.
Sloane Cox continued to keep the pressure on, third fastest through the stage on 6 minutes 53, and now moving up to third overall. And Graham Featherston also making gains here, fifth fastest on the stage and now 6th overall as he tried to claim the rookie class title. Also in that battle, Clinton Cunningham, now 7th overall. Daniel Walker, the other driver in the rookie battle in his Evo 3, but he was down a few places in 11th.
Stage 3 is McRobbie's Loop. Now this is only a little short stage, but it's well known by a lot of competitors because it's used for the rally school.
For many years, this short stage has been shrouded in deep forest, but recent clear felling has left the road open and changed the look and feel of the stage. Ben Hunt first through and would set the stage record.
That's the one thing with Maramarua. You go in and year out, and it can look so completely different. Those that have been there before would expect to see trees, but all we're seeing is cleared forest, one big fast track, and I think stage times will go down. Ben's going all right in this rally. The other two have had their problems. He'll know about it, and he's just going to want to consolidate, put down a good time.
All right, so let's look at the time. It's 2 minutes 16.5.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and that's probably some of the hardest driving I've ever had to do. Like, you're constantly correcting the car, quite rough and bouncy in places, so it's a bit different. Like, it's everyone says Nelson's rough, but it's quite rough in there.
Just a short stage, so the difference won't be great in the times. The road is rough though, and West already struggling with handling issues.
Well, at least it's a short stage. They'll get to service and be able to make some changes, and Chris will hopefully get his confidence back.
Something in a shock absorber or something, but it's just basically undrivable. We can't even keep it in a straight line, so we've got a service. We'll go back and see what we can do, and obviously the times are reflecting that as well. It's just, yes, really, really strange, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, those rally out boys are going to be busy because Brian Green is having similar issues. His time, 2 minutes 27.1.
Stages are good, but we just haven't got our car handling quite right at the moment. We're slipping and sliding everywhere and bouncing around like a bloody bouncing ball, you know. We'll do something at service that we can do.
So you think that's the car as opposed to the road?
Well, I think it might be a combination of the drive of the car and the road, I think.
Well, it's a case of what might have been for Richard Baddock, just 7 seconds down on Hunt, but his rally really ruined on stage 1.
No, the stages are really good. They're actually quite dry and grippy. Unfortunately, we had a puncture at the start of the first stage, so that sort of put a downer on the day, but we'll claw it back, and the surface is really nice. So I'm really comfortable with it, and we're flying. We're doing well.
Mind you, Hayden Padden obviously in trouble here.
Hayden's been working on this car between stages. He's got some tie-down straps just trying to hold the diff in. He really needs to get into service, and then it'll be all hands to the Spanish to get the car fixed.
The biggest damage we've got at the moment is a broken rear diff, so we've just been in two-wheel drive since, but it's basically bent all four wheels, so it's done a bit of damage.
It's going to be good for the spectators watching the fight back once you get it fixed at service.
Yeah, we'll give it a bit of a go, so hopefully we can get everything fixed and have a good go on the next loop.
That should give Richard Mason a break in the battle for the lead, but problems in that car too.
120, 5 right rough. Repeat 5 right rough and caution, long 4 right plus over crest off camber. Repeat caution, long 4 right plus over crest off camber. And long 5 left.
Doesn't sound like that car's running on all 4 cylinders. Maybe got a little bit of misfire creeping into it to go with the steering, to go with the gearbox issues they're having. Yeah, definitely that car's not running as it should.
6 right 30, 5 left room. Repeat 5 left room, 150. 6 right, keep in, finish 30.
So lots of information in the pace notes there, and down to the finish, 2 minutes 20.1. That's 3.6 seconds slower than Hunt.
Did it come right?
Yeah. Richard, we have you leading the rally after 3 stages.
Yeah, look, I don't know if that's after 3. The last one we just did, we had a crazy misfire most of the way around the stage and for no reason, and then it cleared out at the end. So maybe we just fouled up some plugs. I don't know. Crazy.
Sloane Cox second fastest here, so that secures his 3rd place overall. Now he would head to service 20 seconds behind Hunt.
Sloane, how's those first 3 stages gone?
They're alright, I'm struggling a little bit. I'm not sure it's being out of the car or what, but I'm loving it, but I'm struggling still a little bit.
Oh, well, I guess with some repeated stages, you get to go back and try them again?
Yeah, hopefully that work out good for me, because I'm wanting to get out there and improve my times.
The battle in the R2 Fiestas was as tight as ever, less than a second on stage 1, before Phil Campbell pulled out a 5-second lead over the car of Josh Marsden.
This is a fast section of road. These cars are superb on this type of stuff. They lose a lot of time exiting slow corners and of course off the start line, but in this fast sweeping stuff, they're super quick.
Dave Holder in the older model Fiesta, another 4.6 seconds back after 3 stages, on board, and you can see the difficult conditions for these cars.
These are small, lightweight cars, and they spend a lot of time bouncing in and out of ruts. And it's all about maintaining corner speed and keeping the momentum up.
This rally is a crucial one for the battle for the historic class in 2013. Dean Buist taking the early lead, but real challenge coming from Marcus van Klink as they head for service.
Expect the Escorts to be fast in the forest. Expect the Mazda to be very quick on the tarmac.
Jeff Judd has a points lead going into this rally, so his 3rd place here was fast enough to keep him at the top of the table. And while he was entered in the open 2-wheel drive, a welcome return to the championship for Neil Allport in an immaculate Ford Escort RS 1600. 15th overall, 3 seconds ahead of Judd.
And Ron Davey just 30 seconds back from Judd. He's having a good battle with open class competitors Hamish Anderson from Christchurch and David Ralph in the front-wheel drive Starlet.
So after stage 3, it's Mason in front, 16 seconds ahead of Hunt, with Cox in 3rd. Chris West in 4th, just ahead of a very disappointed Hayden Padden. It's been a busy morning on the stages, and Ben Hunt surprised at the rough conditions.
That first stage, it was a bit different for me. Everyone said Nelson roads are quite rough, and they are rough because they have quite a lot of tyre wear, but That's not so much the case here. It's more there's quite a lot of bumps in the corners, and you're always fighting the car. It's dancing quite a lot. So that was a bit to get used to. My arms were real tight after that first 18k stage. So yeah, but it's been awesome, and we're pushing reasonably hard and just driving a nice tight line. So it seems to be working.
Westy, not the start to the rally you're hoping for, but some of the others have got problems as well.
Well, yeah, maybe bigger than what we have. I mean, it's yeah, we changed our ride height obviously for the conditions in the forest, and I mean, it's just made such a big difference to the car. It's really undrivable, to be fair. So we're just going to go back to what we had.
The idea of raising the ride height actually created more problems than it solved, as suspension guru Murray Coote explains.
They had a bit of a change the other day without a test, and based on Manamaru just trying to raise the ride height a bit. So he's going to drop it back down again, because I think the geometry is a bit out of whack with where it really should be, and Westy's having a bit of a struggle with it. So just going to drop that back down and everything should be fine.
It's a huge task ahead for Team Green as they attempt to replace the entire rear end of their Lancer.
No, the car just flew a bit too far, and it's done quite a bit of damage actually, so we'll try and fix it now, but not quite sure yet.
But we'll still expect to see you in the stages this afternoon?
We're not sure yet. It's basically pushed all the subframe and all the floor plan and everything back, so we can't mount any more diffs or any other suspension arms or anything until we get that all straightened out. So hopefully we'll get it fixed and get it back.
And the BNT team electing to change a gearbox in service, which could see them incur late time penalties.
About 1k into the first stage, we had a bad gearbox noise, so we're just swapping gearboxes, going to our sequential. Richard's a very hands-on driver. He just couldn't sit back and watch the crew do it, so he's in there helping them.
Well, you do have a 16-second lead, so is it about managing that this afternoon?
Yeah, 16 seconds isn't very long, but it's quite a bit further back to third, so we haven't done that many Ks. We've got quite a few to go. I'm confident that we can try and catch up if we lose some time out of here.
And unfortunately, a major engine failure for Dave Strong before he even got to service.
It's probably a drop valve, and then it's broken the rod and punched it through the block and through the head and through everything. It's about 30 grand worth of damage, because I've done it once before.
The battle for the historics, though, had gone to the Mazda of Marcus van Klink.
Klinky, you got the jump on the escorts in the 3 stages this morning.
Yeah, no, it's been a good battle out there. It's been all go. It's certainly the pace is pretty hot out there, so yeah, no, really enjoying it. Car's going good.
Are you keeping your co-driver happy?
Yeah, we are today. We've had a few moments. It's pretty fast, so it's pretty rough out there, but yeah, it's hammered down, so it's awesome.
Meantime, front suspension damage for Dean Buist.
Just come around a corner, didn't really even cut it, and there was a drain that had sort of opened up and hit it with the front wheel and bent the steering arm a bit, so we're just modifying it.
Should be all right for this afternoon?
Oh, it'd be fine. It was still handling fine because they hadn't bent by much, and they are a bit of a soft point on them, and you can strengthen them, but then they break bolts, so it's just something's got to give.
Well, Juddy, it's a bit busy up with the BNT Subaru crew. How's it going with the BNT Escort?
Well, nothing to repair, nothing bent, but yeah, to be honest, I'm not feeling that comfortable this morning. We're a bit off the pace, and just one of those mornings, I guess.
I guess you go through these stages again, so you get a bit more confidence?
Well, I don't know. I think the roads deteriorate, so if we can just hold where we were and maybe the others come back to us a bit. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
The battle on the stages turned into the battle in the service park, as both Mason and Padden finished the work and got the cars back into the rally on time. Coming up on Rally Nation, are the problems over for the top 2? And it's back to the high-flying stages. Welcome back to the Possum Bourne Memorial Rally, brought to you by Vantage Aluminium Joinery. A special day for the Bourne family, with 18-year-old Taylor starting the rally in a Subaru Impreza. He made a steady run through the morning, co-driven by stepdad Mark Mitchell. He arrived at service having moved up 4 places.
Real happy it's actually based out of Pukekohe because, you know, hometown and all that. And honestly, some of the corners on that track are ridiculous. They scare the hell out of me.
How are you enjoying the experience for the first time rally competitor?
I think it's great. I'm having a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun. But that doesn't take away from, like, literally how much skill it takes to drive this thing. I'm just putting along. I mean, when you see all these other guys doing it, that have been doing it for at least, like, 2 or 3 years, yeah, amazed. You're like, how can they take those corners like that? It's ridiculous. But, I mean, I'm just going along pretty easy at the moment, trying to finish the rally, because that's what it's about, finishing the rally.
So stage 4, a repeat of stage 1, West Loop. How would the road conditions have changed after the first pass? On board with Ben Hunt, and the road looks like it's cutting up a bit more, Glenn.
This is to be expected. Overhanging trees, it's not getting the sunlight to dry it out. And in these softer bits, with so many cars passing through, it is going to cut up.
And these are the jumps that caught out Hayden Paddon on stage 1.
Ben's just playing safe over there. You don't want to give everything away by wrecking your car, so it's just got to be a little bit cautious when you get airborne.
Rightio, coming down to check the stage time. It's 11:24.4. That's 9 seconds faster than this morning. And Chris West should be faster after the team reset the suspension height.
And it's reset for Chris West, the driver, as well. He hasn't had the morning he wanted, so he's going to have to go into these stages. And for him, the rally really starts now. Although that doesn't sound as if the engine's on all 4 cylinders.
Mind you, it looks like a faster time than this morning. That's 11 minutes 45.4. That's 11 seconds faster. But is it enough? Richard Baddock punctured on stage 1, so of course he was quicker this time, 12 minutes 13.1. Hayden Paddon with a minute to make up on Mason, but of course he has the points, so really a top 3 finish today will keep him in the lead.
700+, 400.
And we're just coming up to the jumps, so let's listen to John Kennard's call here.
Flat 8 left over jump continues.
Not this time.
100. Here, hug 7 left over jump opens.
Well, a wise call from Hayden there. Let's see what time he can do.
About 8 left to finish. 150 crest, 200 to stop.
So that's 11 minutes 8.4.
Yeah,
that's 12 seconds faster than Mason's record on stage 1. And Richard Mason back on stage with his replacement gearbox, but a question mark over its reliability, Glenn.
They weren't sure about some of the noises the 6-speed sequential was making. They made a cautious call, put the standard H pattern back in it, and now their hand's been forced. They have to go back to the good sequential gearbox. At least it'll be good for going very fast.
And here we go, you're getting some air over the jumps there. Richard puts in a top-class effort, keeping the lead. He needs a win on this rally to get back into the championship contention, so we'll be checking his time. And that's 11 minutes, 11.4, 9 seconds faster than this morning's run. Now, Sloane Cox with a good chance of a podium here if he can just keep pushing hard, and he looks like he is.
This is fast, 200 Ks plus.
Oh.
That is right on the ragged edge.
Well, 4th fastest on the stage, so he drops to 4th overall, just 0.5 behind Paddon. Stage 5 now, Ridge Road, starting on the east side of the forest, which is more open, and the roads are a lot harder. Road looks in good condition here for Ben Hunt, though.
Holding up for the 2nd pass.
We'll see how the stage time comes up. 6 minutes 49.5. That's just over a second faster than this morning.
Ben, looks like it's pretty hot work in there.
Yeah, mate, there's hard work. Like, if you don't stay on the rail tracks, you're fighting the car the whole way around the corner, and yeah, but it's great fun. Like, it's pretty fast out there, and we're having a blast.
The road condition has deteriorated since the first pass?
Yeah, it has. In places it's got quite bad. Just, it's digging some quite deep ruts, and yeah, it's not too bad though. The 3rd pass through there will be interesting.
Well, Glenn, you commented on Chris West's car sounding rough, and it doesn't sound any better now.
And the times haven't been that good. Westy's not having the rally he was hoping for.
And it's cost him 7 minutes, 02.5.
Westy, you made some changes at service, but the time's still not too good?
Yeah, the car feels really good, but unfortunately in that first run through, about halfway through, we landed on quite a big jump, and it's just cutting out for some reason. It's got it's trying to boost, but it just won't happen, so I'm not sure. It's electrical fault, maybe.
Brian Green still struggling for pace, 7 minutes 14 here, and 11th overall. Richard Bannock starting to run out of tyres and losing time here with a 7 minute 12 seconds. So let's see how Hayden Paddon can go. He wasn't all that confident with their car's handling, and there was still some work to do on the rear end.
It's not possible to have that amount of damage and get a car that is as good as it was at the beginning of the rally. So it is about getting through, making more improvements as they go. But of course Hayden, he's a professional. He has to manage this thing and he has to get the points.
It's been a great run through the stage, and look at this time, 6 minutes 31.7. That's 12 seconds faster than the morning record.
I was amazed to see you get out on time with the workload they had at service. Do you think there's more they can do to fix the car again at the next service?
Oh, certainly we'll try and improve the geometry now, like the back wheels are all over the place, and okay, this gearbox, we need to look at that as well. So, but the guys are doing an amazing job just to get us out on time.
You're keeping it interesting.
We'll keep going.
So can Richard Mason match that pace, or does he need to, Glenn?
Well, as you can hear, that's not exactly running as it should either. So time's almost secondary just to keeping going, salvaging what you can from the rally and getting the points. But Richard is still leading.
The car sounds flat though, that misfire has returned.
Yeah, they only had a 30-minute service and they've done a gearbox change. That's a big job in 30 minutes.
So stage time though, 6 minutes 53.8, still faster than this morning.
Richard, it's a real battle out there, but you're still leading. You got your problems, but you're managing it. It's what rallying's about sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty tough at the moment. You know, we changed the gearbox at service. We had to choose which one we were going to have, the misfire or the changed gearbox, and we decided we had to change the gearbox. Hopefully now we can go back to service, fix the misfire, and then we'll be, going properly.
Sloane Cox pushing hard, but losing time to the top three. He would remain fourth, but now 25 seconds behind Paddon. Campbell held the R2 lead, but still just 6 seconds back to Marsden, and both in the top 10.
These cars have a special sequential gearbox, close ratios, keeps them high in the revs, and it's fantastic to hear that echo through the forest.
And as always, David Holder trying very hard to keep up in his older car. But doing a good job here, Glenn.
David does a very good job in this older car. Doesn't have the technology of the two newer ones in front. The stage time's still very fast.
Ooh.
That was a big lot of two-wheel action, and he had to turn out of it to save it going over.
So 5 stages gone, and Mason now 25 seconds in front of Hunt, but Paddon closing in third, and a great result for Campbell in 6th. Buis leads Historics in 7th, and Marston is 8th. A return to service at Te Kaupata, and plenty of work to do.
Well, Westy, you've fixed some problems, but a few others have come up.
Yeah, maybe we've created more than we can take on, but I mean, we've lowered the ride heights this morning, and it's put it back to where it was originally, and it feels really good. But unfortunately, it's developed a misfire, and it's running on 3 cylinders now. So, and Mike's in there, and he can plug in and try and diagnose what it is.
Richard, those stages are playing havoc with the cars. You're getting on top of some of your small issues.
Yeah, look, we've had a few problems today. Really, we had a little bit of a gearbox issue. We've swapped a gearbox. We had a misfire, started in stage 3, and we had to carry them through for stage 4 and 5. Had a bit of a power steering issue as well, so we're just trying to get all our ducks in a row now so we can go out there and do it properly.
This is the most exciting rally I've seen in a while, and it's all because of a few problems for you in the morning, but it's a massive fight back.
Oh, it is. Like, obviously a lot of people are having problems, and it's just one of those rallies we're gone into the unknown, and a rally that a lot of us haven't done before. And but no, it's certainly exciting. Hopefully we can get a few more things fixed this service. We're obviously doing more repairs to the rear from this morning, and just trying to fix this gearbox problem as well. So all going well, we should have a smoother run through the next 2, hopefully.
Stage 6 returned to the first stage, West Loop. So this would be the 3rd run over the roads.
And on a hard base, like we're seeing here, the road's not going to cut up. You can have as many passes as you like, but where there's overhanging trees, the road does have a tendency to cut up, and the more passing of cars digs the gravel out.
Well, Hunt's time, 11 minutes 13.3. That's another 10 seconds faster. So this is like a rally sprint with the times tumbling on each pass through the stage, and Hayden Padden aiming to get past Ben Hunt at least before the tarmac stages start. And Padden takes more time off the record, 10 minutes 59.1, 21 seconds faster than stage 1. Chris West's problems seem to be getting worse though, struggling to keep any pace in the car. Richard Mason not giving away too much, second fastest, 4.3 seconds down on Padden, so still in the lead by 33.5 seconds.
Repeat long 4 right minus here. And long 4 there's plus double AP.
And Sloane Cox still fourth, but now 52 seconds behind Hunt. Coming up on Rally Nation, one more stage on gravel, then the cars are reset for the final 4 stages on tarmac.
Stage 7 is Campbell Road. Starting off with a fresh piece of road, then coming through the forestry headquarters onto Ridge Road, which we've already used. And it'll be getting really swept and fast by now and quite exciting.
So the final gravel stage and our feature stage of the rally, thanks to Vantage Aluminium Joinery. Ben Hunt first through and setting a stunning time of 9 minutes 43 in the Group N Subaru.
Ben's really keeping the pressure on the 2 fast guys at the front, doing a great job in the Group N car. Hayden got back in front of Ben in the stage previous, but Ben will want to make sure he's there and capitalise on any further problems the 2 fast guys have. These helicopter shots are great, and it shows just how fast they're going. Greenie took some time this morning to get used to new tyres, but he seems a bit happier in the repeated runs and really having a good go.
But Hayden Padden had fought back from his incident in stage 1 and a class performance here.
This just shows how good Hayden Padden is. He's having to adapt. The car's not perfect, but he's still setting blistering stage times. Another jump, but he's been very careful.
Hayden holding on with 9 minutes 39.4, and talk about holding on, Chris West struggling on 3 cylinders. And inevitably getting caught here at the end of the stage by Richard Mason. Mason still fastest though on 9 minutes 26.1. Third fastest on the stage, not enough to move Sloane Cox up the leaderboard from 4th.
Sloane likes to use all the road. He's becoming a bit of a crowd favourite out on the stages. It's certainly good to watch. He doesn't always follow the lines of others and makes his own marks. Always full points for commitment.
Graham Featherstone saw his rookie championship lead take a tumble after a crash on stage 4. Now he was limping home to keep his chances at that title alive. So good news for Clinton Cunningham, who needed the points after some bad luck over the season. Daniel Walker is a great example of how accessible the New Zealand Championship has become. An old Evo 3 Lancer, but he is able to gain valuable experience by entering the rally. Josh Marston pouring on the pressure on the stage, just squeezing out Campbell and closing to within 2.5 seconds.
He's keeping it nice and tidy here, stretching every bit of performance from the car and keeping maximum speed.
So Campbell in the class lead, but having to use all his skill to keep Marston behind him.
You know, when we totalled up all the stage times for the whole year, these 2 were separated by just 1 second going into this rally.
This is a year of experience for David Holder, yet he is putting up competitive times in his ST Fiesta and lies 12th overall. Dean Buist had claimed back the historic lead over the later stages. He was an 8th overall as well. A stunning performance in any two-wheel drive car.
And these shots are great to see the contrast between rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive. Look at the rear-wheel drive car. He really uses a throttle, turns the car through the corner, big slides, great to watch.
And Jeff Judd holding 3rd in class, and that was enough to keep him in the points lead. But Marcus van Klink looking good heading to the tarmac stages, just 13 seconds behind Buist, and this was looking to be an epic battle ahead.
And he'll know that helicopter's watching. And Ron Davey, he's dropping back a little bit, but his car won't work as well in these road conditions. And look at this. Possibly the best, certainly one of the newest Mark 1 Escorts in the world, driven by Neil Allport. Hamish Anderson taking it steady, but it's paramount he gets to the end of this rally to get the points for what will be his maiden championship. And come on all you guys with front-wheel drive Starlet rally cars, get out there, get in the championship just like David Ralph.
So at the end of the gravel section, Mason in the lead, Padden up to 2nd but 46 seconds behind, while Hunt in 3rd just 5 seconds away from Padden. Time now to make changes to the cars as we head to the tarmac stages.
So Hayden, we're going to go into some tarmac stages. Just talk us through what you're doing to the car here.
Yeah, just a few damper quick changes just to really try and stiffen it up and try and limit the body roll. So ideally you'd put a whole new suspension in it, but we don't really have long enough services for that, so just a few tweaks.
So I guess the idea of the suspension is to hold the car up. On gravel you want it to be soft so it gets some grip, but here you're going to have more grip with the tarmac tyres, so you're just trying to compensate for that a bit.
Yeah, on the tarmac you want the car as rigid as possible, so you want to get all the centre of gravity down low and basically make it a very like a go-kart, whereas a rally car, like you say, is very soft and soggy, so we're just trying to eliminate some of that, and it is very much a compromise, but it seems to work okay.
So the event starts, the tarmac stages, with 2 runs around the Hampton Downs circuit, including a run on the skid pad and a chicane.
Stage 10, Ardmore Quarry Road. There's a bit of history here. This road used to be gravel and one of the roads that Possum used to cut his teeth in the early days. Now it's tight and twisty and fantastic tarmac.
Ardmore Quarry Road will present a significant challenge on tarmac. Ben Hunt had regained 2nd place over the Hampton Downs stages, but he has little experience on tarmac.
Tarmac's quite different. Ben hasn't had a huge amount of experience because the National Championship hasn't had dedicated tarmac stages for quite a while. The setup is going to be still based on what they had a gravel car this morning, and it is a bit of a compromise.
Ben would finish the stage 4 minutes 54.7, and this afternoon's been a disaster for Chris West. The car is barely running at times and it's falling fast down the order. The cars were starting at 30-second intervals in the stage, so a good chance that West may be overtaken. Brian Green, the next car through, and he would finish the stage just seconds behind West. A big question mark over Hayden Padden too. His rear diff totally failed now, and the team had disconnected the rear drive shaft and turned the Lancer into a front-wheel drive car.
This is all about getting the car to the end and getting some points. It's not going to be fast. It's very, very handicapped. It's not set up to be a front-wheel drive car, yet it's putting all that power in just the front wheels.
And look at this, Richard Mason catching Padden in this stage.
That is very much a tarmac setup car. Richard goes exceptionally well on tarmac.
Well, Padden across the line in 4 minutes 50.9, and Mason would follow 4 minutes 25.9. So now a chance for Sloane Cox to close on Padden with just 2 stages to go.
Well, it was 21 seconds going into the stage. It's all on.
So this is how we stand going into the final stage. Mason can cruise to the end with a 1 minute 55 second lead over Hunt. Padden third, but Cox could catch him as it's just 10.4 seconds.
Stage 11 is Pukekohe Racetrack. 2 laps of the racetrack, including a lap through the pits, but the trick is, this is the joker stage. If you're not happy with your stage time, you can throw it away and you get one chance at having another go, and you've got to take that time.
Yes, the power stage had the joker twist in it. Richard Mason put up a great time in his first run, 2 minutes 35.7, so he could easily win the rally. But had he won the power stage? Second on the rally for Ben Hunt. What a season for the young driver who's made his way through the ranks after winning the Rally New Zealand Scholarship 3 years ago. His car was wounded, so could Hayden Padden save third on this stage? Cox just over 10 seconds behind, so it was going to be hard. Padden finished the stage 2 minutes 53, and Cox pushed hard, able to use all the power through all 4 wheels, so he was just 5 seconds slower than Mason and claimed third overall by just 2 seconds. Graham Featherston had crashed on the gravel, but had fixed the car for the tarmac and was posting top times on the bitumen. He was second fastest on his first run through the stage, but with nothing to lose, he played the joker card. The second run happening in falling light and with rain clouds threatening. But Featherston does it just 0.5 faster than Mason to take the power stage win. And an amazing run on the final stage, Neil Allport using all his experience to pilot the Escort home in 5th on the power stage. So the drivers who will choose road positions at the final rally are Featherston, Mason, Cox, Hunt and Neil Allport. That will be interesting. In the Fiesta class, Josh Marsden took the class win and the power stage win, showing good skill on tarmac. Marsden set up clearly better than Campbell, who had a big moment on his first run through the Pukekohe S's. Dave Holder coming home in third, but he'd been outpaced by the R2 cars over the tarmac stages.
80, along 4 right plus.
Marcus Van Klink was just too fast on tarmac for the escorts of Judd and Buist.
Certainly entertaining, and this is what we come to expect from these cars on this tarmac racetrack.
Jeff Judd finishing third in class to hold on to the points lead going into the final round, despite this moment. So the final results. Mason by over 2 minutes to Hunt, Cox, Padden, 5th for Marston in the Fiesta, Van Klink 7th to lead the Historics, Daniel Walker top of the rookies in 13th.
Hey, we've had a ball today. Maramarua was awesome, had great fun in there. Had quite a bit of trouble as well. But like the tarmac was great, really enjoyed the tarmac. It was nice to sort of have a skid around the Hampton Downs and Pukekohe racetrack. And awesome. There's so much more to come from this car, but this result's fantastic.
Hayden, a bit of a trying day for you, but through it all, you've still got some very good points and you're in an exceptionally strong position in the championship.
Oh yeah, there's frustrating day when you spend the whole day cruising, but to get the car here is a testament to the team. And when we first had the problem this morning, the guy said it's going to be touch and go if we even get to the end, and the decision was made to continue. So luckily we've got some points for the championship, and it's going to be all on Wairarapa, that's for sure.
So the points going into the final, and these are calculated with the worst result dropped. Padden leads with 100, Mason 95, Hunt 91, and with 30 points up for grabs, West still in with a chance on 77. It's been a great rally to celebrate Possum's life. And what a great tribute to his dad. Taylor Bourne finishing the rally and making up 9 places on his start position. Next up, it's the challenging stages of the Wairarapa, the final round of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship.